in the country right now? Is he actually supporting democracy, or is he supporting extremism in order to verify his rule within Pakistan? And I think that it's the latter, is that he actually wants to hold on to power. Pakistan is not an extremist country. It's one of the most modern Islamic countries at the current moment. And, with proper representation throughout the country, you'll see that Pakistan can be a moderate democratic country throughout the whole country. It's not like it's just because there's a minority group that is extremist. That is not representative of the whole of Pakistan.
8:53 in the morning here on Hofstra's Morning Wake Up Call. Johnny Miller, Sadiq Faruqi speaking with Maher Nisar, founding member of the Future Leaders of Pakistan. Maher, I want to ask you, how does Benazir Bhutto figure into all of this? What role does she have to play with this current situation that is going on right now in Pakistan?
Well, Benazir Bhutto is basically, as they would say, Lady America. She basically has a lot of connections with the American government at the moment. She has really gotten the media of the United States behind her and supporting her to come back to power within Pakistan, and it's almost given her a look as if she's a savior of something. But there are currently cases pending on her. There are certain issues that need to be dealt with before she can actually be elected. She has been elected twice as prime minister. The Constitution only allows 2 times, and she's going for her 3rd term. So, I mean, given that she supposedly has respect for the Constitution and the rule of law, at the same time, she is actually going against it by actually standing for election, because the election currently is about to start up in January 8th. It's only a few weeks away. And, as far as Pakistan is concerned, Benazir Bhutto, Nawaz Sharif, all these individuals that have been coming to power consistently, these are just people that are dynastic powers that have just been existing around, and there's basically other political people that need to come to the forefront. I think leaders like Imran Khan is boycotting the current election, and I think that he's one of the leaders that has been standing up for his rights and has been standing up for the rule of law and an independent judiciary within Pakistan. He is supporting democratic institutions within Pakistan, and I think what he's doing, he's not validifying or legitimizing the current election under emergency rule. Because you can't have a free and fair election under emergency rule. In Pakistan, there are 5 things that we're looking for. We want the removal of General Pervez Musharraf's uniform. We want the restoration of the judiciary, the independence of the judiciary. We want the Chief Justice, Chaudhry Iftikhar Muhammad, to come back. We want, the political prisoners, the lawyers, the students, all of them to be released. There are a lot of things I think that we need to first of all look at, and we need the youth to come out primarily, to come out and riot against, the imposition of emergency law at the current moment.
Well, Maher, you mentioned Imran Khan, and for the unacquainted, he is essentially Babe Ruth plus Michael Jordan, essentially a playboy during his time, one of the greatest cricketers to ever play the game. He has such international fanfare and such a huge following amongst Pakistan. You mentioned the large percentage of Pakistanis under the age of 35. What kind of an impact can he perhaps have on a nation that is very youthful?
I think he has a huge impact. I think he represents a sort of, the basic thing about him is that nobody doubts his integrity. Regardless of his youth, regardless of his status as a media personality, as a socialite, as a cricketer, he's still come out as an individual that has been sincere to the people of Pakistan. So as far as the youth is concerned, the people like that. He has a manifesto that promotes democratic institutions of Pakistan. It promotes an independent judiciary, and he highlights certain parts that other parties don't. And, not to totally support him or anything of that sort, but as far as the current situation is concerned, he seems to be the most attractive figure to most of the youth of Pakistan, and primarily probably to the most of Pakistan. So I think that in the near future, if not, I'm definitely not this election because he's boycotting it, but I'm sure in the future elections, he's definitely going to be one of the major candidates to come up and maybe take over the country at one point.
8:57 in the morning here on Hofstra's Morning Wake Up Call. Sadiq Faruqi and myself, Johnny Miller, right here on the show, talking with Maher Nisar, a founding member of the Future Leaders of Pakistan, about the current situation and the emergency law that has been placed on Pakistan right now. Maher, I want to ask you, the U.S. until now really has supported Pervez Musharraf, and he's been called a dictator. He's been called, some would say a conflict of interest in terms of supporting democracy. Can the U.S. support Pervez Musharraf, in your opinion, and still be supporting democracy?
No, they cannot. How can you support a dictator at the same time and support democracy at the same time? That contradicts itself right there and there. I mean, the United States has to start looking at its long-term interests. If they're looking to promote democracy and trying to promote progressive, idealistic, modern Islamic countries, then they have to allow the democratic institutions to develop. If they keep on allowing military institutions to further strengthen and take over other institutions within Pakistan, then extremism and all these type of things are, given root. Because, democracy, people want democracy, and if supposing an individual or a brand of society cannot voice its rights, then sometimes they turn to violent means, and that becomes extremism in other people's eyes, and in another way for them it seems to be a freedom struggle. So I think that as far as the United States is concerned, they have to first look at trying to have a long-term strategy with Islamic countries in the Middle East and also in Pakistan primarily, and they should try to promote democracy rather than trying to, promote one man, one family rules. Or, this is not the way that they're going to better their own interests in the long run.
Now, Maher, one question before we let you go. In your view, obviously Pakistan is a young and developing nation founded in 1947, so you can consider this to be another period of growing pains. But in the short term, for the moment, what do you foresee happening over the next 5 years as this country really is in a sensitive state right now? What do you see playing out over the next, say, 5 years?
Well, at the current moment, I see a revolution. I see a revolution of the people. I see a revolution of the youth. I think everybody is organizing. The lawyer movement is taking shape. The media has become stronger. It has been curtailed at the current moment, but I feel like it's going to rise again. And with the current elections coming up, I think that things will be invalidated. I think that things are going to be a lot different in the next 5 years. It's a very critical situation. The next 5 years are going to be instrumental in actually setting off and understanding how the regional power balance will be. India is also a major power over there, but as far as Pakistan is concerned, it is a nuclear power, and we have to be safe and responsible. We have to be responsible with what we have, and primarily we have to also focus on the interests of the Pakistani people, and we have to make sure that their needs are being met. And at the current moment, they're not being met, and now they're getting a little bit agitated. They want their rights. They want democracy. They want to be heard. And I think within the next 5 years or so, I think they're going to come out and get what they deserve and what they actually should have.